Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is sponsored by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. I know it's a little rainy out there today, but you know, if you got like a landscape project that you are thinking about doing or dying to do, I don't know, you need your flower beds mulched, you need your grass cut, you need anything related to lawn and landscaping. Do me a favor, think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Don't think, call them at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. And when you do me a favor, tell them you heard about it from Sports with Strawberry Ice. What is up to everybody in the chat? We got Brad in there. We got Paul in there. Michael Madden, Tony Blazin. What's up, guys? Well, I am back. I've had a long vacation. I didn't go anywhere, but I had a lot of family in town. My daughter turned 21. Our son graduated college. We had a whole bunch of friends and family in. I've been working on my bathroom, which is not done yet. Still working on it. Hopefully, maybe by this weekend, it'll be done. It's only been destroyed for like a year. It's okay. Mrs. Ice is perfectly fine not having a working shower for a year. That is a complete lie. She really wants it fixed. So I'm working on trying to get that done. But with that being said, we'll go to somebody who probably has never worked on a shower in her entire life, but I'm sure she enjoys a shower that works because, you know, women like to get in the shower and beauty. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's get to the one and only Gabi Sorrentino.
I like that intro. That was cool. Haven't seen that one before.
You know, women gotta, you guys want your showers and everything. And Mrs. Ice has been bugging me to try to finish this for.
I would kill you if I didn't have a working shower. So I don't blame you.
Luckily we have another shower in the house, so that's good. Or it would have gotten done sooner. I'm handy, but not that handy, so it takes me a little while to do stuff. So
it's all right.
Yeah, it's it happens. So. You just actually, there's two things I want to ask you. I think you knocked off two things off your bucket list that you got to do the last couple weeks. A couple weeks ago, you got to go to the Kentucky Derby, and then this past week you got to go to the Indianapolis 500. I have never been to either one of them, and I've lived in this area my entire life, so I'm a little jealous that you've gotten to go to both of them. Now that was pretty cool. Yeah. What was one better than the other? What were they like going to both of them?
First of all, yeah, my month of May has been crazy.
I
have been all over. Churchill Downs was amazing. You know, we all know by now I'm a horse girl through and through. So getting to go there, we owned a racehorse growing up, and I lived so close to Pimlico in Baltimore, so we went to the Preakness quite a bit. So getting to go to the Kentucky Derby was amazing. Just being around like every single celebrity ever, just walking around and seeing them there. And then obviously the race was amazing. We had a local horse in it, which made it even sweeter. I literally ran Ethan West down on the track, ruined my shoes in the meantime, and got to do an interview with him. And that was crazy. But yeah, my shoes immediately went into the trash after that. But that's okay. It was worth the experience.
Speaking of trash, you had the epic shot though. You had the Jeremy Rao and Joe. They put it out there when the epic shot of the computer on top of the garbage can. So
yeah,
I don't think it beats Jeremy's yet. Yeah, that's gonna take a little while for him to live that one down, but it's up there. That was.
People think that TV is so glamorous. We have makeup artists, so we have people doing our hair, and I'm there in a nice dress and my heels at the Kentucky Derby editing our stuff for the morning on a trash can. Reagan got that photo so quick, and everyone was dying over it because like everybody thinks like you're at the Kentucky Derby and it's this whole glamorous event, and I'm like, no, we didn't even have a place to sit. I was editing all my stuff on a trash can, but it was so worth it. I cannot complain about it. It was amazing.
You guys edit and you filmed all of it too. You didn't have a camera. You guys were the camera girls.
We were. Yep. Us too. The funniest part was we obviously hadn't been to Churchill Downs before, so we didn't know the first day. We didn't know anything of how to get to the barns from the entry area, and so we're asking people, and no one knows. No one's able to tell us how to get to the barns. So we're like, oh my gosh, like we can't figure this out, and we needed to interview Ethan. So we have the cart full of stuff. We're dragging it in our nice dresses, in our heels, and this guy comes by in a golf cart.
It was muddy.
It wasn't that day. This was on Friday, luckily. This guy comes past us in a golf cart, and he's like, "Can I help you guys?" And we're like, "We need to get to the barns." And he's like, "You're like 2 miles away from the barns." And so we were like, "Oh my gosh!" He was like, "I'll take you." So Reagan is in the back of the golf cart, wheeling the cart behind us. I'm in the front, and thank God for this guy. Safety Mike saved our lives. He was like an Uber driver. We were calling him to take us all over Churchill Downs.
The golf cart Uber.
Exactly. But without him, I think I wouldn't have my feet attached to my body anymore. So
not for 2 miles carrying that stuff. No.
So luckily we have the cart, but it was a really cool experience, and we did all of our coverage from Churchill that night, and it was long days, but it was really amazing for sure.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
I got to watch all of it, and I enjoyed you running through the track / mud trying to interview the local writer. That was cool. That was an epic video there. So then this weekend you got to go to Indianapolis 500. I mean, dude, your bucket list is. I mean, all we need now is you to cover the Bengals in winning the Super Bowl. And,
I know. Yeah.
So how is it the Indianapolis 500?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I spent all of this past weekend there and then last weekend there as well doing qualifying, and it was the most unreal experience. People don't know that I am super into motorsports because I just never have really had the chance to talk about it.
Right.
And I did cover a NASCAR race in my first job, so that was really cool. And I grew up probably annoying my dad about the most like motorsports I would watch because I would get up, watch F1, then I'd do IndyCar, then I'd do NASCAR, and I've always been a big NASCAR girl.
Who's your driver? Who's your driver growing up?
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch. Okay.
Yep. And so getting to do the Indy 500 was incredible. I wasn't really into Indy cars as much as I was into NASCAR growing up, but recently I've gotten more into Indy cars, and it was amazing. I mean, there were like 400,000 people there on Sunday, and I just couldn't imagine. You don't understand just how big Indianapolis Motor Speedway is until you're there. I mean, they have a golf course in the infield. Like I
didn't even know that until this weekend. I had no idea they had a golf until you mentioned this weekend. I was listening to it. I listened or watched it. Well, no, I take it back. I was watching the beginning of it. We had to leave and go to my cousin's son's graduation party. So I'm listening to it. And one of the craziest things, and I'm not a big Indy 500 IndyCar fan either, or I'll actually NASCAR, but I'm not hugely into it. But I have never heard or seen anybody wreck before the race even starts.
It was crazy.
I don't remember the guy's name, but I'm driving. I'm going, oh, there's a wreck already. I'm like, did the race start? Right? The green flag hasn't even dropped yet. I'm like, he wrecked on the warm up lap.
Yeah, Scott McLaughlin.
Yes, that was crazy.
it was hard for us because where the media center was, like, we were right at the start finish line.
Mhm.
And, obviously IMS is so big that you're not gonna see anything other than where you are. So, we see the flag go for one more warm up lap, and then all of a sudden we see the yellow come out, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I was outside at that point. So when we're in the media center, they have the broadcast on, so. And then when, you're outside, you can't hear anything. And then I hear the guy come over the loudspeaker and be like, "The caution's out." I'm like, "Caution for what?" And then it's on the big screen. I was like, "Oh my gosh," because Scott McLaughlin had a really great car and he was one of the favorites
Yes.
to win. So it was, yeah, it was tough. Tough for him. That was just such a fluke thing. I felt so bad for him. You work the whole entire month of May for that, and then you don't even get a green lap in. But
it's
yeah,
Indianapolis 500. This is these guys'
Yeah.
dream to
Yeah.
race in this, and
100%.
you don't even get one lap in. It's just like you gotta wait a whole other year before you
I know.
get back to that point again.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Did you see me go around the track in the
I
Corvette?
saw it on Twitter. I saw it on there. How much fun was that? Because that's again, I'm very jealous of you, by the way. I would love to do all this crap. But how much fun was that?
I'm incredibly lucky. I will say that Fox had sent me and Austin for qualifying weekend because the Indy 500 was on Fox for the first time. So all the Fox affiliates got to go. And Joe had mentioned possibly that we would get a ride around the track. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's like my dream come true."
Right.
And then Joe was like, "Oh, I don't think they're gonna do it." So I was so bummed out. And then I get my itinerary from Fox and it says that I was going on the track, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." So we got up bright and early that was last Sunday morning, and it was so cool. I got in the Corvette and I was like, "I want to go really fast."
You're like Ricky Bobby. Who wants to go fast? I do.
And he's like, "Okay," because I'm a total adrenaline junkie. So we were flying around the track. It was so cool. I think we were going about 140.
Woo! That's
So we were flying, and it was crazy. I also told my dad after I really want a Corvette now. So now he's gonna have to deal with me telling him I want a Corvette. But no, that part was amazing. And it's interesting though, because like I've been on NASCAR tracks before where the turns are so incredibly banked.
Right.
It's not like that at IMS.
Really?
The turns are not nearly as banked as some of those NASCAR tracks that you see. So yeah, that does make it so they can go like so much faster around the turns. They don't have to downshift nearly as much. But yeah, that was a crazy experience for sure.
Well, to quote your boss, I'm sure it was pure cinema.
Yes, they ran the video of me in the car. I think it's Cincinnati Sports Show that night. I didn't even know they were going to do that. So
Yeah,
they liked the video.
my fault. I've missed the Cincinnati Sports Show the last 2 weeks. I've been busy because if I'm watching, I'm tagging you guys and taking a picture of me drinking a beer watching it. So if I'm watching, I let you guys know. So
yeah,
that's been my fault. By the way, have you gotten to ask Joe about my Gabi's Gab bag? About the Papa Shot rematch.
So Gab bag, I have one saved up because I don't always get a lot that week. So I do have that one saved up. I have another question from you saved up. So they will be asked eventually, I promise.
All right. That's not because I probably
and everybody needs to ask questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell everybody where they can send that to.
So on my Twitter, you can reply to any of my posts, DM me on my Facebook comment. I always do it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I try and put something out, but it's a really fun segment that we've had. We've really enjoyed doing it, like answering everybody's questions. I think it's brought out a lot of fun. So yeah.
And Paul Painter here. Let's see here. Who was it? Somebody said it. I can't find the comments. The Fox 19. Oh, it's Brad. I agree with this. Fox 19 is the best sports team in the city. I completely agree with that.
Thank you.
And now you added Charlie Goldschmidt to your crew.
Yeah.
So he beat me to the punch. I was trying to ask Joe see if he wanted to use my show as a web show, but now you got Charlie Goldschmidt on there. How cool is that? You guys keep adding. You're the only sports bar that keeps adding. Everybody keeps subtracting. You guys not only added another sports show on Sunday night, you added another person to your sports department. That's great. How's it been working with Charlie Goldschmidt? Because I've had him on here a couple of times. Charlie's a great dude.
Oh, Charlie's amazing. He's like my next door neighbor, so I see him all the time. He is going to be such a great addition. Charlie's chalkboard is going to be on Fox 19, his weekly, I think it's weekly newsletter, and it is so good. He has so many great connections. He had a conversation with Al Golden that was posted today, and then him and Joe are also doing a weekly show on our CTV, and it's really cool. I've enjoyed it. I told Joe I was a little jealous. I want to do a show with him, even though I do shows with him every day.
I try to get him on here all the time, but he's always too busy to come on here. So
yeah, he is a very busy guy.
He is.
Joe always tells me, he's like, Gabi, we need to do a podcast. We need to do a podcast. So maybe that'll happen eventually.
Maybe. Hey, you know, yeah, I know a guy who could host a podcast. You both could come on. I'm just saying.
There you go. I wouldn't be opposed.
Which I cannot wait because when Bengals season starts around, I think I'm going to be doing Bengals Now with you guys again. So that'll be fun. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, that was such a good time.
We are, I think, I saw on Twitter, I think today we're 100 days away from the season starting. So bring it on, baby. The Reds are pissing me off like they have been the last couple of years. So I'm ready for some Bengals football. With that being said, I've talked about this. I got to give Trags, Mike Petraglia credit for this. He told me this probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. He was on the show saying that Darnell Burton is been more in the building, and it seemed like he's more focused, and he couldn't confirm it at the time, which I think it has been confirmed that Darnell's parents have moved up here with him. I still don't know if that's confirmed or not, but either way, with that being said, Joe Burrow came out and said that Darnell Burton is impressing him. Looks like he's finally taking this seriously, and I don't know about you, but I get goosebumps thinking about that. If we get it, because Darnell Burton was, I think, drafted to replace T. But they signed T and they signed Jamar. Now, if we get Darnell Burton and can do what his talent, get the talent out of him, we got 4 wide receivers along with Mike G. Yeah, it's going to be an unbelievably explosive offense. I can't wait for this. How much has Darnell Burton changed in your opinion? I know you have been out the OTAs today, but have you been in the building with him? Is he looking a little more mature? What do you think?
So I'm actually going to tell you it's Jermaine Burton. Darnell Burton.
What did I say? I say Darnell again? Damn it. See, all right. I said Darnell because Darnell used to be a Bearcat. All right.
I just have to give you a hard time.
No, I know. Dustin's doing it too. I put it out on Twitter. And Chop texted me. He goes, Who's Darnell Burton? I went, shit. I had to go fix that. Darnell Burton used to be a Bearcat back in the 90s. So Darnell Burton. Yeah, but I get names confused.
It's okay. It's okay. Amazing. It's okay. So I do have to admit, I have not been in the building with Jermaine yet because because I'm off on Tuesdays, I haven't been there for any of the off-season stuff, but I was there for like all the rookie mini camps and everything. So I've been around all the rookies, but I haven't gotten the chance to be around the guys yet because their schedule just doesn't work with mine. But Jermaine's one of those guys that needs a big second year leap. And I'm really hoping that we see that from him because, he's a really good guy. I got to know him when he did a charity event around Christmas for some kids in the area at Target. And he was so willing to be there and help the kids. And that was a really cool thing for me to get to see him in that environment. And then I'm not sure if you remember but when he came on Bengals Now, he was awesome. Such a fun time.
He stayed the whole time.
So into it. Yes. He was so into it. Yes. He literally told us like, I will come back anytime. Like Jermaine, I really think that he's been through some stuff and I understand like everybody goes through stuff. I just think he needs, and a lot of that comes with maturity because sometimes we don't realize just how young these guys are. Yep. It's their first year in the league. They have all this money all of a sudden, right? Like it's an adjustment, but I do think that if Joe Burrow's saying it, that tells you something. I don't think that Joe's going to say it. If it's not true, I think that Jermaine knows that he's on kind of a tight leash in a way. Like I think that he understands that he really has to like prove himself and make a big second year leap. And so I think that's going to kind of change his outlook and things he does off the field. And so, I really hope that for him because I do think he's a really great person. And I think he's a great football player too. I just think that all of the stuff off the field needs to stay off the field.
Yes.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to mature and progress. And I think that it'll be something to watch for sure the rest of this offseason and then into training camp.
Yeah, Jermaine was awesome at Bengals now, and his
Oh,
cousin,
yeah.
his cousin Darnell used to be a good basketball player too. Just to put that out there. That's not his cousin. I just messed that up. Let's see here. Get to some questions here. All right, let's go. Michael was it first. Do you think the starters will play more in this preseason?
Yes.
That's what they're saying.
I think that Zach Taylor knows something has to change with these slow starts, right? Like, I think that he knows that, and maybe that's what's going to fix it. You know, Jamar in his interview, Jeremy posted today, he was like, do I want to be playing in the preseason? No, but if that's going to help, you know, these slow starts, then I'm going to do it. And it's not saying that they're going to play every single snap of preseason, because they're not, but I think it is good to, you know, get back up to football speed before the season starts. And that's what preseason's for, right? Like, I think that it won't, as long as guys are staying healthy, it's not going to hurt them. And he has to try something, because what they have been doing in the past clearly hasn't been working with these slow starts. So you got to try something and see if it works.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is I think the offensive line, in my opinion, they need to play more snaps. And I think Joe, and now everybody's going to freak out, don't get Joe hurt, which I don't want to get Joe hurt, but I think Joe, and he's just from listening to what he said the last couple of years and watching where he really doesn't get going until like October, November, you know, like late October, beginning of November. I think he needs the reps. He needs the repetition. So if he can play a little bit more in preseason, I think it would be good. And the offensive line, because we're going to have 2 new guards, you know, whoever's going to win the guard's job, there's going to be 2 new guys out there. So that whenever they decide who the starters are, they need to get those guys out there to me as quickly as they can to get them at least a series or 2, I would hope, to get this season going. All right, we started talking Bengals. Now the chat's blowing up here. All right, Dustin here. Any thoughts on being void years for Jermaine's contract? Essentially, if he doesn't play well, they completely avoid his contract. Could be a rumor, but that would be a first ever team to try it. I don't know.
I haven't heard that.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, at all.
I haven't heard that. The whole thing with Shamar, I think, is getting a little blown out of proportion. Amarius Mims did not sign his rookie deal until day 1 of training camp last season. We are in May 27th right now.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, they're just going through the motions right now. They're working out the contract. Now, him not practicing, I understand people getting upset, but, you know, he's doing it because he kind of has to protect himself too. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to get hurt, and then the Bengals are like, well, we're not going to give you a contract. Like, that would be a bad situation for both ends.
Right.
These guys have to protect themselves too. This is their career. This is their livelihood. So I think that people are, you know, freaking out a little too early. Like, it's okay. He's really not missing too much right now. If we were into training camp and he hasn't signed again, I'd be like, okay, we need to, there's something to worry about here. But, you know, for right now, I think some other teams still have to sign their first round picks. I know a few just did this the past few days. So it's no time to freak out yet. He just has certain things that he wants. And, you know, his agents are clearly trying to get that for him. So I just think it's working it out with the front office.
Yeah, it's just taking a little, like, I mean, anything with the Bengals and contracts, it takes longer than we want it to. We all want it done now. I mean, and I'm the same way. I want him to get out on the field and get playing as soon as he can. So hopefully he can make a big impact on us. Now, speaking of contracts, we got to bring up Trey Hendrickson. He showed up a couple weeks ago. And were you in the media scrum when he was there, or not? Of course, it's Tuesday. The day you weren't there, right?
Yeah,
but you saw what he said, and it kind of, and I kind of changed my mind. I've changed my mind, but a little different perspective. I was talking to Richard Skinner from Local 12 here, and he was saying that the way he interpreted the text from Zach Taylor and the Bengals is like, look, this is our offer. Ain't nothing happening until training camp. So you might as well either come in and play or stop talking to the media because it's not helping. It's kind of the way when I was talking to Rich, I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't know what's your thoughts on how the Bengals are handling it? Because Gabi, I've said this the whole time. The Bengals had the leverage. Trey Henderson has absolutely no leverage other than to sit out, which, in my opinion, all that's going to do is hurt him if he actually wants to gets to free agency next year, which, again, Bengals have hold all the cards. They could tag him. So Trey's kind of stuck, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't foresee a world where Trey sits a season. I think maybe right now that's a lot of talk is kind of what I'm seeing. I mean, he's a football player. Like, these guys want to be playing. And like you said, I mean, then he goes into the next year and he didn't play a year. Like, how does that look? Then his value goes down, right? Like, all these
things. And he's a year older.
Right. I do think that, look, he said, you know, the Bengals were like, this is a prove-it year for him, even if he didn't need it. And he did. Like, he was the NFL sack leader. So I do think that Trey deserves to be paid.
I do too.
It's just, you know, their numbers are at different places, and I don't know what it's going to take for their number to be at the same place. I think that this all started last season. My first week here, Joe filled me in on the Trey Hendrickson stuff, and it was the first time.
Welcome to the fire, Gabi. Here you go.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. It was the first time he had spoken to the media this time last year. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is scary.
A little bit.
I was like, but he was nice and everything. But I was like, man, he means business. And I don't think that he was, you know, he wasn't happy last year. He requested the trade. And then we're back to the same thing this year. So I don't know. It's just such a sticky situation. And like, I know that we all want to see Trey Hendrickson in a Bengals uniform. All the guys do. Joe Burrow does. Like, they all want to see him. You know, he sees Jamar and T get paid, and then he's like, what about me? I get it. Like, that's a tough situation. And so I think it's just gonna, I mean, I hope that both sides can find an agreement. But I'm like, can we just have like a drama-free training camp?
That would be great. A drama-free, injury-free. I know that would be awesome. I mean,
because last year we were on Jamar watch every single day. Is he going to show up in his sneakers? Is he going to play football? Is he going to do this? And it was like every day waiting for him to walk into practice. I'm like, it's going to be the same thing with Trey this year.
Yeah,
it would have been nice just to focus on Joe Burrow throwing bombs during training camp.
That would be all. Like, trust me, last year I got so sick and tired of going to do this every day. So I'm always talking about, you know, Jamar and T. Now I'm always talking about Trey. I'm like, you know, there's nothing really new, but you still got to talk about it. So it's,
exactly.
And like the other thing would be nice is Joe Burrow has a completely healthy offseason would be great. And I don't want to sit there and say, because 2 years ago, we thought he was going to, you know, because his offseason was fine. He got to the season, and then he hurt his calf. I know you weren't here then, but that's when he hurt his calf that year. And then we had to deal with that for the first month and a half of the season. It's like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, then he added his appendix that one
the year before that. Yep. It's like, well, he said, when you want a drama-free offseason, I would love one. We haven't had one, like, ever since Joe Burrow's got here. We haven't had one.
Yeah, I know you guys are ready for it too. Believe me, we're just as ready.
I mean, it makes great content for a podcast if you do it every single day. It's just, you know, like, what am I talking about something else some other time? You know, like how good we're doing, you know, worry about trying to win a Lombardi, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Our girl Wing is in there. She says, hi, Gabi. Miss you, friend.
Hi.
Shamar's dad spoke about the contract today in an interview and explained their stance on it. So
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that one either. I have to check that one out. Let's see. Just M said, I'm ready for some Bengals football. Me too. We too.
Same. Let's get it. Yeah, right. Jeremy's interview with Joe Burrow's parents was amazing.
Yes. Oh my. Who said that one?
Esther.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah,
yes. I'm glad you. I'm glad I texted him on that one too. I said, dude, that was awesome.
It was so cool.
Because I did not know that literally they had to set up the ring camera and everything themselves. They just got to pack it. I thought somebody from the NFL at least would come in a mask or whatever they had to do and set up. No, she had to set it up all by herself. That's I don't know. That's awful a big risk. What if they don't set it up right?
I don't know.
There's a lot to do to set this stuff up to do this.
Yeah.
You know, and she's trying to do it over national TV.
That was really cool. I love that he got to go and be in the same room and do all that cool stuff. I loved her talking about his fashion. which brought up a fun conversation about some of his outfits, and we were having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, that was a really awesome interview. I really enjoyed that.
And Robin mentioned something about the drapes. I guess she got hit on her drapes on Twitter or something. I don't know. I'm like, who wants to make fun of? I don't know. People will hit you for everything on
it's
Twitter.
The internet.
Yeah, Twitter/X. But so you guys got anything special coming up this week? I know you just ran through a really big month. We got June coming up. Is it going to slow down for you, Gabi, or where's Gabi? We should have a say. Where's Gabi going now?
I know. I'm ready to have a chill month of June here. It's my birthday month.
Well, happy birthday month.
Thank you. So I'm excited to celebrate my birthday at the end of the month. My dad will be coming into town in a few weeks, so I'm excited to see him. So yeah, a little bit more chill June, which is nice. And then July, everything starts picking up again, which I'm ready for. I told myself that after how cold this winter was, I will not be complaining about the heat during training camp. So I'm holding myself to it because all I could think about was on those snow days was I need the sun. I'm not going to complain this year, but this was a rough winter. So I'm ready for it.
It was so hot last training camp. I just remember just standing there. I'm just watching and I'm just drenched.
Just baking. Yeah. It was just sweat. Nonstop.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there. That's what I see these guys like. I'm hot just standing there. They got pads on and they put the new protective thing on their helmet. I'm like, dude, that looks
the Guardian cap.
Yeah, the guard. That looks hot. Yeah. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. No, it's so I don't think I have any plans to do any crazy travel this month. So after the last few weeks, I need a little bit of a break.
Well, you got the same birthday month as my daughter, so.
Okay. Yay, June birthday.
Yep, she just turned 21. She's been 21 for a week now. So
okay, nice.
I'm old. I got almost 26-year-old and I got a 21-year-old. So yeah,
getting up there.
Getting up there, like back in my day, we used to do. No, anyway, Gabi, you said about 6:15.
Yeah.
So I'll let you roll.
All right.
Anything you want to plug before I let you go?
No, just keep watching Cincinnati Sports Show. We're having the best time with it every Sunday night, 11:30 to midnight. And like we mentioned earlier, Gab Bag, send us your questions. Doesn't have to be sports related, can be stuff about us, about our favorite events to cover, favorite stories. I've learned a lot about Joe and Jeremy, just myself, with those questions, so it's been cool. So yeah, keep asking them, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you for having me on, as always. I appreciate it.
I appreciate having my favorite sports crew in. And by the way, if you guys ever need another person to come on, there's
we will keep you in mind for sure.
I'm just kidding. Talk to you later, Gabi. Thanks.
All right, bye guys.
See ya. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Gabi is awesome. Make sure you guys follow her on Twitter. Follow Fikes19. I think they do the best job as far as covering sports. Yes, Chop. I see you. I mean, he's not my real estate guy. I mean, yeah, Bengal Rick is my dude, but he did, he pork chop said, I mean, Jeff, your real estate guy said that they bought a property. So it's a done deal. Let's quit worrying about it. Well, I like your positivity there, Chop. I mean, like I said, with Trey Henderson, I honestly don't think he's going anywhere. I've said this before. I don't think he's going to sit out. I don't think he's going to retire. I think he's stuck, and I think the Bengals are kind of like, hey, here's your offer, and that might be why that's what's frustrating with Trey is they haven't been negotiating. Sounds like they're not negotiating. Sounds like so far this is our offer. Take this, which I don't know how much more money it is, or play on your current contract, which I hope they sign him. We'll see what happens. I don't know with this. I do think Trey's going to play. I would rather him come into camp happy and rich, or maybe not rich, but happy and just happy where he's at. Not where Katie Blackburn says he should be happy with what they offer. Just happy with his contract would be nice. Will it happen? I don't know. I really do not want this to linger into training camp. Like Gabi said, it'd be nice to have a nice, normal, interrupted training camp. Like I said, last year was Jamar and T and all that. And that did run into the season. I know Jamar won the Triple Crown, but if you look at the first 2 games, he was okay. He went off the hook after the first 2 weeks and was the best player in football. I don't want to – with this defense, we need Trey all in on day one if we're going to try to get this Lombardi trophy. And like I've said multiple times on here, I wish the Bengals would want to win Lombardi as much as they want to win every contract. So we'll see. And another thought I had here. Now, I have defended, quote unquote, the Bengals on their offseason moves. I don't agree with everything they've done. Now, I want to put that out there. I see the vision. I see what they're trying to do. That's not personally the way I wish they would have done it. I wish they would have added, they could have drafted all these guys and added a couple more veterans to this, at least one to the offensive line, maybe their pass rusher to the defensive line. Would have been nice. I wish they would have done that. And I've been sitting there watching the Reds, and it's kind of scary because the Reds tried to get all these young guys that I'm not saying they're not going to work, but take that next step. And so far they haven't. And that's kind of where that's where we are with this defense. I'm not saying the offense is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's the defense. That's what we have to get back up to at least where we were when we made our Super Bowl run and our back-to-back AFC Championship runs. For that to happen, we need these young guys to make a leap, a step forward. That's what the Reds were hoping that Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, Tyler Spencer Steer, Novi Marte, all these guys would take a step forward. So far as the Red season has gone, they really haven't. That's why it's been an up and down season. That's where, one day they hit the ball like crazy and they score 15 runs and then they don't score any. And then you got to go against the Cubs and you actually score a whole bunch of runs and your bullpen can't hold it, which is frustrating. But if you had some veteran guys who could help steady the ship, who've been through a playoff race and been through the ups and downs of a Major League Baseball season, would help. Rolling back to the Bengals defense. Who's going to be the leaders on the defense? Especially if Trey is not happy, not here. That's just, I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just seeing a lot of similarities. That's kind of scaring me a little bit with this Bengals defense that the Reds were trying to do and hasn't really worked out. Now, like I said, they're putting an awful lot on their coaches. And again, it's what the Reds did. They got to put an awful lot on Terry Francona to help change the culture here, change the way things are going. And so far, they have. We're pretty much the same spot where we were last year. I mean, I give or take a couple games, here and there, but Reds are pretty much where they were last year. They're the same spot they were this year, which is it's getting scary. Now, I hope it'll work. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to sit there and say, yes, it's definitely 100% going to work, because I have no idea. But the talent is there for this defense to get better. But the talent is there for the Reds to get better, and it hasn't developed yet. Now, with the Reds, it may take a year for Terry Francona to really make an impact. Again, goes back to the Bengals defense. Will it take a year for the new defense coordinator to really make an impact? But the difference is he's been here before, so some of the players he's coached before. We'll see. Bengal Rick, there you are, buddy. Trey staying, see you in training. Bengal Rip, Chop was calling you out, not me. I believe you. I have believed you from the get-go. I have no reason not to believe you. We'll see what happens today. Wayne put in Shamar Stewart's dad's interview today, which is right here. So you guys can click on that and check it out. Gino, what's up, brother? Just Gino Stone. What's up, Gino? So that's the part. So my whole point to this little 2-cent rant is there's too much I don't like similarity because it's it's not working for the Reds. They're relying on a manager to help change the fortunes of this team. The Bengals are relying on Al Golden and our new offensive line coach to change the fortunes of this team. Now, it can happen. I'm not saying it can't. And the Reds could turn around and turn this thing around. I have no idea what's going to happen. Right now, Tuesday, May 27th, the Reds aren't doing very good. Yeah, they beat the Royals last night. But they had a 6-run lead and a 8-run lead and lost to the Cubs. That team can just flat freaking hit. It's the best offense team in baseball. The thing is, when you have a 4-run inning and the bases are loaded and you don't get any more runs, you need to keep adding on. And that's where the Cubs kept fighting. They're veterans. They know how to do that. The Reds aren't the veterans. The Bengals don't have a lot of veteran leadership on this defense. So that's the scary part, to where these two are very similar. And hopefully we will have different results with the Bengals. Now, we do have guys. I'll go back to a different way to look at it. There are guys on this defense that have played in the Super Bowl, that have played the back-to-back AFC Championship games, that played when this defense was better. So I know they can do it. It's just, can they get the rest of the second, third year, first year guys to do that? I hope so. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Paul Painter. Terry said, yeah, I didn't understand that one. Terry sits the hottest hitter in Benton for some dude named Connor Joe. Yeah, I'm with you, Paul. That made absolutely no sense to me. That honestly, that was a David Bell move. I don't know why Terry did that. It really made no sense. Gino, can't get over to Volson. That Volson played. I can't get over that Volson play where he got pancaked last year. Okay, I don't remember what player you're talking about, but yeah, I'm sure there was one. And that's the interesting thing. I really didn't get into this with Gabi too much. I wanted to. The Cordell Volson restructuring. Either way it goes, to me, it sounds like he's staying on this team. They're not going to, if they were really thinking about cutting him, they wouldn't have restructured him, I don't think. Now, Coach Minnick brought something up, because I've been wondering, on Twitter he brought this up, I've been wondering what the heck they're going to do with Pratt. And he put it out there on Twitter that he's got a feeling that there's a semi-likely chance that they might restructure Pratt's contract, because they haven't traded him, they haven't cut him. They'll just let him sit there and just dangle. That's all he's doing is just dangling. He doesn't want to play for the Bengals anymore because, well, my opinion, he thinks he's a third down linebacker, which I think he's proven that he's not. And Al Golden, when he was here, linebackers coach, he wasn't a three down backer. So that's one of the reasons I think Pratt wants out of here. But again, he's under contract. And Bengals don't have to do anything. They don't. Now, if he doesn't show for training camp, they can fine him. That's where they're at. So let's see here. This team is nuts. Talking about the Bengals or Reds. KP from Casey, restructuring Pratt, but they don't want to pay Trey. What the F? Well, if they restructure Pratt, that means they're saving themselves money. So restructuring Pratt and paying Trey really isn't the same thing. But the thing is, though, if they restructure Pratt, they restructured Geno Stone, they restructured Zach Moss. So if they restructure Pratt, out of those three contracts, they should have enough money to pay Trey. Or you just cut Pratt, and that money goes toward paying Trey Henderson, which is another thing they can do. Which, I mean, I don't understand why they would keep Pratt, but what are they waiting on? You know, it doesn't make any sense why he's still in the Bengals uniform, because they drafted 2 linebackers, plus they signed one in free agency. I don't know if there's a spot there for him. But when Matt Minnick said they might, and that's just Matt Minnick's thoughts. And not that I don't know if they're going to do, I'm not sitting there saying they're going to restructure him. I have no idea. I'm just curious why he's still a Bengal. To be honest, I don't understand. KP from KC said Pratt should have been gone the day after the draft. I agree, but he's not. He could go to Indy per reports. Yeah, but he can't. And unless they are holding on to him to make Indy trade for him. Maybe that's it, Paul. I don't know. Because there's no other reason to keep him. There's really not a spot on this team for him now, I don't think. So it's just an interesting thing. It's just every time the Bengals do anything with contracts, it's interesting. It's head scratching. It's frustrating. All the above. I don't know. Yeah, he says they're wasting roster part. Well, I mean, yes, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, they are. But like Gabe says, it's training camp hasn't started yet. I mean, I don't think Pratt will be on this team by training camp. I really don't. I really don't. I don't think he'll be on this team by training. And the thing, Lou loved Pratt. Pratt loved Lou. Bengals know that. Maybe they're like, you really want him? You have to give us a 7th round pick, a 6th round pick. You got to give us something for him. We're not just going to cut him and give him to you. Maybe, that's honestly the only thing I can think of why they haven't cut him. And to be honest, if that's the reason, that's pretty smart because you could trade him. I would rather trade him and get a draft pick for him than just cut him. To be honest, because right now, yeah, waste a spot, not that big of a deal. I mean, I don't. It's OTAs. It's it's the last spot on the roster, so it's not that big of a deal. Pratt's sitting there still. So we'll see. Chop. There's room for Pratt. He ain't the worst linebacker. He's top 3 or 4. Yeah, I'm not saying he's the terrible linebacker. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to be on this team is what I'm saying, Chop. And I think that they drafted 2 linebackers plus signed 1. So the writing's on the wall. I don't think they're expecting Pratt to be here. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And again, Pratt sees himself as a 3-down backer, and he's not. And Al Golden is the one that wouldn't play him on 3rd downs. So there's that's another reason, because as soon as they hired Al Golden, he wanted out of here. So I'm just going by the writing on the wall. It has nothing to do with, if I think he's a good linebacker or not. He said he wanted out of here. I don't think he wanted to play for Al Golden. And Lou's in Indy. I think Lou wants him. And I think the Bengals are trying to force Indianapolis to give them a draft pick. Maybe. Maybe 2 or 3 others need to prove. I'm not even comparing linebackers here. To be honest, our linebacker room was awful last year. So, yeah, he can still be one of the better ones on a terrible linebacking room that we had last year. Sure. Yeah. But the like I said, the point is why haven't they cut him? Because I don't think he's going to be here. He doesn't want to be here. I don't think the Bengals want him here. Just like I said, looking at the writing on the wall. So we'll see what happens. But just my opinion that Pratt won't be here, and I'm just curious to why he's not here. Let's see. I agree. There's a good chance he's not here. But does he want traded to Carolina? He doesn't get a choice where he gets traded to. It doesn't matter where he wants to get traded to. That's the whole thing. Like, does he want to get traded to Carolina or play 2 downs? I don't think he wants to be here. He said he wanted to get traded. And if you don't have a new trade clause and you say you want to be traded, well, doesn't matter. They trade you wherever they want. I honestly think they thought they were going to cut him. That's what I think. Pratt's team thought that he would get cut. And the thing is now, yeah, I keep saying it's not a big deal for the Bengals, which it's not. It's a bigger deal for Pratt because there are only so many linebacker jobs in the NFL. So they could not be the best spot for him, a landing spot for him, by the time the Bengals cut him. Now, if they trade for him, then that team actually wants him. So that might actually be better for Pratt. We'll see. What, Kevin? What game do you think the White Tiger game will be? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I it's a good question. I'll ask you guys this. That the Bengals put this out on Twitter. Which one you wanted? The White Tiger, the Whiteout, or the Stripe? Myself, I voted for Stripe. We've done the Whiteout, which is great. And we did the Whiteout again, cool. But if I had my choice, I would do something different. I would like the Stripe. We did that perfectly. I mean, I remember sitting down in 158 when we did it, it was all lined out. There wasn't any some orange up into the black or some black up the orange. It was straight. It was perfectly lined out. It looked awesome. And not every fan base can pull that off. And it wasn't that the Bengals didn't give us orange or black t-shirts. No. Because that would cost them money. It was us. They said, this is your section, this is your color. We dressed up like that. So that's where I think that was the coolest part. If they do it, it'll be one of the primetime games. Which one, I have no idea. But I would rather, if they're only going to do one, I'd rather be the Bengals striped. That would be cool. We'll see what happens. All right, boys and girls. Oh, yeah, here we go. The Bengal Bronco. You know, I think striped the jungle needs to be a different game than the Browns. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. Too many similar colors. I mean, if they're orange, I guess, but it's orange and black. You know it's a Bengal. I get what you're saying, but I don't know if it's that big of a deal. Pork chop, not perfect. Dale would not confirm. What, the stripes? Oh yeah. Well, Dale was drunk when we were talking about it. So yeah, me and him were literally talking about. I remember this. We were talking about. I was like, dude, look, it perfectly lined out. So I had a conversation with Dale at that game, so I can confirm Dale said that. Whether he remembers saying it, I don't know. Bengal Bronco. Didn't they do it against Cleveland last year? I think so. Yeah. I don't remember. All right. Actually, we didn't do it last year. It was 2 years ago. I don't think we did it last year. I remember doing the orange for opening day, and that was against, was that the Browns? No, that was New England. We did the all orange then. But I don't think we did the stripe last year. I'm not sure. Wing, Jamar Chase, football camp this weekend. Code Bengal Gym, get you 10% off. Ooh, there you go. We should white out straight the jungle this year. That would be cool. White stripe. And then you got to have the white stripes playing. Good old Rumdale. Kevin, orange out and white tiger last. Yeah, I think we didn't do the stripes last year. Yep. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, we did the white out. We did the orange out. Because orange out's going to be a tradition every home opening day. Is going to be an orange out, which I like. I think the all orange are cool. I mean, I feel the Bengals have the coolest uniforms in the NFL. I don't give a crap what anybody says. Our uniforms are the cool. White tiger is the coolest. The helmet is the coolest. When you get that orange out there, I think that looks cool. I love the all black. I even like the black jersey and the orange pants. That's one thing we were all talking about when the uniform came out. What, 5 years ago now, or 4 years ago? That we wanted orange pants, and they came out with them this year or last year, and the black jersey with the orange pants looks sick. So I like that too. So I like the white out. I do. Don't get me wrong. I like the white. We've done that, and I'm not saying don't do it anymore. Just you got the stripes and you got the orange, or hell, like Chop said, do the black and white stripes. That would be cool. you know, where did Gabi go? She had to leave. Where did you go? Were you not watching the show the entire time? Cap? Grip? Kevin, I was at the White Tiger game last year. It was cool. Everyone wore white. Yeah. Yep, we've done that one. And we've done that one, knocked that one out of the park. So for me, for prime time, they've seen us do the white. That's where I'm like, the stripes would be cool. Do that prime time. Because I just remember seeing the overhead shot of it lying down, and it was all orange and black was cool. So we will see what they have going on. The Reds, are they playing tonight? What time do they play? What, 6:40? I should know that. Hold on a second. Looking it up here. Had to walk away from the keyboard. Well, you walk away from the keyboard, you don't see Gabi leaving. It's not my fault. There you go. Brad's on it. 7:40. Yep, 7:40 tonight. I just popped up here. So the Reds take on Kansas City. 7:40 tonight. Hopefully they get another win. But I don't know about you guys. I am irritated, just frustrated, ticked off with the Reds because it's just what kills me is I kept saying if the Reds would average 4 runs a game, like legitimately average 4 runs a game, not score 15 runs and then don't score, score 1 run or no runs, and it adds up to 4 runs. Legitimately score 4 runs a game, they'd win more often than they lose this year. Then they go and have a 6-run lead and an 8-run lead and lose both of them. They're the same team they were last year. And that's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I was hoping for different. I was hoping because we needed Ellie to have MVP season. We needed Matty Batts to hit like he did 2 years ago. We needed Spencer Steer to be Spencer Steer. And he hasn't been. Hayes has been good, but not great. Marte started to come around, then he got hurt. We needed CES to have a big year, and he's been hurt for most of the year. It's just that's where when me and Skinny were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Did the Reds bring their guys up too soon, or what? Because especially Ellie. This is Ellie's second full season in Major League Baseball. Maybe I'm expecting too much out of him because he's such a great player. But I'm not the only one. I think the Reds expected more out of him. They not only expected, they need more out of him. They need more out of Matt McLean. They need more out of Spencer Steer. They need more out of Marte. They've got the pitching. That's not been the problem. Even though we lost the leads to Chicago, that majority of this season, that hasn't been a problem. I wish I knew the stats, and I'm sure somebody in the chat could look it up for me. We are up there with the Pirates and the Cardinals and some of the worst teams in baseball as far as being shut out or scoring 1 run game, 1 run or fewer games. It is utterly ridiculous how many times we can't score or we just score 1 run. And these guys are pitching their asses off. And it's almost like I feel like the starters have to pitch a damn near shutout for us to have a chance to win. And then we'll have the game where we score a whole bunch of runs and then we don't score any. That's where I'm like, the front office should have done some more. They should have done more to help this team. We needed that big, consistent bat in the middle of that lineup. That's what that guy who scares the crap out of everybody. The guy who's been there, done that. That's what we needed. We needed that guy. They got They got the talent to trade for them. They got plenty of talent in AA. They do. They got plenty of talent. They could trade some of that. But it seems like the Castellinis, all they care about is, oh, we're doing good in the community, which is great. It is. Oh, let's give the fans a whole bunch of bobbleheads. Cool. I want to win. Screw the bobbleheads. I want to win. I'm like, that seems that's more important to them than winning. Like, oh, well, we got Ellie. Look, we tried. We got Tito. You didn't think we'd pay for Tito. We got him, but you didn't pay for anybody else. Not really. You didn't go out and get that big bat, that big splash, the big, all right, we're in it. Like he did when we got Nick Castellanos. We signed all these guys a couple years ago. Where'd that go? You just needed one. Give me one. I think it makes a bigger difference. I do. If you get one consistent bat in this lineup, it helps everybody. It takes the pressure off everybody else. Oh, pork chop. My kids take me to the Reds game next Tuesday. Cool. Have fun. Brad, the Reds are basically the same team they were last year. Yeah, they are exactly the same team they were last year. They are. They're not basically, they are. Other than adding Austin Hayes and our backup catcher who's hit the cover off the ball. What'd they do? Like, what'd they do? And that sums it up for me. Oh, yeah, Luke Shop. The Reds effing suck, but I still love going to the ballpark and watching the game, hang with friends. Yeah. I do. If I have to choose, because I spend so much money on the Bengals, I'm choosing the Bengals to spend money right now. If they were winning, I'd want to go more. Announce your upcoming game at Florence so we can watch you play better. So I was actually practicing yesterday. I got videos coming. We're going to go to the batting cage. Yeah, I'm going to be playing. Me and Cap are going to be playing in the celebrity, which I'm not a celebrity at all. They need a guy. And I don't know how much I'm going to play. It might be like, sure, I could be the bench warmer. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to be playing. Me and Cap are going to be playing in the celebrity softball tournament at the Florence Y'all's Freedom. I think it's Freedom Field. I think it's July 17th. I think that's right. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Get your tickets. You can come watch me. Hopefully not embarrass myself. But I'm going to go to the batting cage here soon. Paul, hiring DEI strength and coordination peeps. Don't know what you mean by that. Chop. Watch it, Jeff. I'm going to the bobblehead day. Hey, get your bobbleheads. That's cool. I want to win. I'd rather them keep all the damn bobbleheads and take that money they spend on bobbleheads and go spend it on a player. I go back to the Bengals. I wish the Bengals went and spend some money on the offseason on some veterans and this defense soon. They didn't, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I've rambled on enough here. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm back. Not sure who's going to be on the show tomorrow, but Thursday I got Carl Pickens on. So Carl will be back on Thursday. Working on some people for Wednesday and Friday. But thanks for watching. I'm live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I'll be pulling the sound off later on tonight, put it on the podcast. Hopefully, Spotify will work and let me download it onto the podcast, but they haven't here lately. But if you do want to check it out, it's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play. Pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a comment and a 5-star review so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. As always, I thank my sponsors of the show. They are as follows. Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you need anything, and I mean anything, lawn and landscaping, a fountain, paper patio, a retaining wall, trees planted, grass cut, yards mulched. Hell, you want to get rid of your grass and get all new grass. They'll come up there and cut it all up and lays the sod down. Anything and everything lawn and landscaping. Do me a favor. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Actually, don't even think it. Call them at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. And if you don't want to call them, you can message them on Facebook. Make sure you follow them on Facebook. And when you call them or you message Johnny, owner of Priority Lawn and Landscaping, do me a favor. Tell them you heard about them from Sports with Strawberry Ice. Also, shows brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. Also, shout out to Meyer Doors and Windows and more. Check them out on the web at MeyerCincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got it on my house. I highly recommend you get it in yours. They're energy efficient, awesome looking windows, easy to clean. You need windows at a good price. Think Meyer Door and Window and more. You can meet Matty Myers in the Jackpot Joey Mobile. Yeah, maybe you can meet Nate too. That's his son. So check him out again at MeyerCincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. All right, guys, I've enjoyed this. I'm glad to be back. I said I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not sure who's going to be on. I will work on it. I need to go back to finishing my bathroom. The glory hole is gone, by the way. Just I know you guys commented on there. It's gone. Like all the walls ripped out. So I'm trying to put the actual shower walls back in. So just follow me on Twitter. You know, once I actually get those in there, I'll post a picture or video and, you know, see the progress. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Remember, as always, who day for life. Throw it up. Got your sports, baby. See ya!
Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with Strawberry Ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry Ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry Ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry Ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with Ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers striking